Hi, I'm Patrick, and we're here again at CES 2023, and right now we're with Flo, and we're going to check out all the cool stuff that they do with EV charging. So we're here with two people from Flo. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. My brain is fried. It's a big show.
So my name is Nathan Yang. I'm a Chief Product Officer for Flo EV Charging, based out of Austin, Texas.
And I'm Chris Thorson. I'm Chief Marketing Officer with Flo out of Boulder, Colorado.
Awesome. So for people that don't know, Flo makes chargers. You guys do a lot of stuff with chargers. You want to explain the history of Flo or what Flo offers for EV charging?
Sure. So we've offered EV charging solutions for a broad range of applications, from residential chargers all the way to the DC public fast chargers that you see out there. We're very unique in the sense that we design and build the hardware, we design and write our own software, and then we even operate our own network. And so the advantage that it gives us is if an EV driver has a problem and they call us, we know exactly through the software and the hardware what the problem is, and we can even dispatch a technician to go fix it. And that's why we're known in the industry to have one of the highest uptime and reliability charging network out there.
And I assume that also helps because you can learn from the EV drivers,
Absolutely.
like where there are issues and pain points for them.
And so when the call center gets enough calls, they'll talk to our hardware guys and gals and say, hey, this power module thing, you might want to adjust or tweak it. And then we make the tweak and then we deploy that in the field. We were also one of the first to do over-the-air software updates, which sounds basic, but you'd be surprised, like even car manufacturers, not every car manufacturer has that today. So we're one of the first to offer that because we would find things on the field, fix it, and we want to push the update and mail it into the field. So those are the kind of things that really helps us build a solution, a charging experience that's very differentiated. And that's what we say, our tagline is EV charging done right.
That's right.
Well, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I said we may not get into the reliability, but reliability is like a hot topic with EV charging. And it sounds like just the way the company is built and the way your network is built, that you guys are trying to address some of the reliability issues that EV owners, EV people have.
Reliability is one of the most important things that I think the industry is just waking up towards. If you look around, the averages in the marketplace is something like, 70% uptime. Well, 70% uptime means 30% of the time the charger doesn't work. That's really bad. We pride ourselves because of all the great hardware and software work and the services that we have about a 98% reliability rating or 98% uptime rating. And so that's by far and away tops the industry. And we do it because we're constantly checking in with our chargers, making sure if they're going to go down, we're going to know about it. And not only are we going to know about it, we're going to send somebody out to go get it fixed. And so that way we have great experiences each and every time that our customers are using our products, and we're really proud of that.
Well, as an EV driver, I appreciate that approach because, we won't get into that. But so we have some chargers behind us. Do you guys want to explain a little bit about the cool factors in this?
Yeah, so these are just two of our chargers. We've got several different portfolios of chargers. These are two of our level 2 chargers. This one is more ideal. It's our Smart 2. It's really ideal for the curbside charging. You'll see these deployed in Los Angeles. You'll see these deployed in New York City. That we've done some of our biggest deployments. It's great. It's got a locking mechanism here, so they're not going to be vandalized on times when they're not being used. The other thing is we have here our Core Plus Max product. So this is more for a commercial type of a product. You might see this in a retail store. You might see this in a parking lot. You might see these in an apartment building. So it's a multi-use product. Also level 2. And the great thing about level 2 is the charging rates, you're going to be typically doing something else while you're charging. You might be shopping. You might be at the library. You might
volunteering at the animal shelter.
Volunteering at the animal shelter.
One around the corner from our old house in Denver had charging at an animal shelter. I'm like, it's sort of great. You go volunteer for 2 hours and you get 40 hours of range.
And that's what's going to happen in charging, is that people are not going to do it and always think about it like they are filling up gas, right?
Right.
Like gas, you're there, you just want to get in and get out as fast as you can. You're going to change your behavior. People are going to be charging while they're doing something else. I'm already going to the grocery store. look, I'm getting low, I might as well go top up here.
Yeah.
So behavior is going to be much more different.
It's definitely a mentality shift. And somebody was like, they asked us, like, well, why would you just like go and like sit for 2 hours to go charge at the animal shelter? I was like, you're not. The whole idea is like before you would volunteer for 2 hours and then on the way home go get gas.
Yeah.
Now you're like, I'm going to go there for 2 hours and I'm going to charge while I'm volunteering. It's a different mentality. It's the same thing. You know, it's like you go home every night, you plug in. So as these get spread more and more, that'll just be the thing. You go in to eat, you charge, you get 20 miles, you're good.
There you go. So, and the other thing that makes these things really different is from the ground up, we really built them to be reliable. The company was founded out of Quebec City. And so, really harsh, cold winters there. So we made them all out of aluminum, really made them to last in rugged environments. And I think that's the other thing that's from the ground up really built for reliability. Right, yeah. And so next we can walk over here real quick. It'll just take a second. But this is our flow home or residential. See, yeah, you can just tell. This is not some piece of plastic that you're just gonna, it's got blingy lights that I'm gonna put on my front of my house. No, this is made out of industrial grade aluminum. All of our connectors and everything are just really reliable, rugged, and you get some feedback when you put it back in. You know it's gonna click.
And I know you can't tell on camera, but this feels like durable. Like I could take a sledgehammer, don't recommend, and just like whack this. But I mean, it looks like please don't. But it looks, it does. Wow.
Yeah, and then even the way that we chose the cable and the connector is so it stays flexible even in the freezing cold winter.
Yeah.
And so you don't want it to be rigid like a copper rod, and then you can't maneuver to your vehicle. Yeah. And so it's not the cheapest cable, it's not the cheapest material to build a charger, obviously, but once a customer deploys these and they've had experience with it, you buy it for the lifetime of your house or whatnot. So then,
okay. I was gonna ask, like, and you guys sell these on your website, or do
we sell those on our website? We sell it through distributors as well. They're very popular in Canada because if you install it under icicles and it falls on it, it's resistant. It's indoor-outdoor deployment and install. And so it's part of our DNA for all of our products. It's not just for the public chargers or the curbside chargers. It's also even down to our residential chargers.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about reliability, like with public chargers, but you guys are like focusing on making it reliable and safe as well for home use. So that's very important for everybody.
Yep.
One of the big things I saw recently in the news, you guys are signed up an agreement or partnership or something like that with GM. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I think that's fantastic news.
Absolutely, yeah. We have a partnership with GM. We had a previous partnership with GM with the workplace program. So we already deployed over 850 chargers at their workplaces for their employees. A mix of DC chargers and level 2 chargers. And like you said, we just recently announced the dealer community program.
Right.
The community piece is very important. The goal of that program is not to be installed at the dealerships, it's to be installed in the communities where maybe charging is not as accessible. That charger over there, it was the Core Plus Max. It's an 80 amp charger. And the reason why we offer that 80 amp charger is because for bigger vehicles like the Hummer EV, batteries are much bigger. And so you want to be able to charge it even at night or during the day for a couple hours. You want to charge it a little bit faster because they have bigger batteries. And we also want to offer that ruggedness. And the cool thing about that also from an experience perspective is if you're a GM EV driver, you can pair your GM app with our Flo app, and now they're tied together. And so you can activate the charging directly from the GM app as well. And the Flo app as well.
Oh, okay.
So this is just kind of a demonstration that we use for trade shows of Flo app. And one of the great things about Flo is, we've got, over 75,000 chargers in North America that we're either as our charger, one of our partners' chargers, or we've got roaming agreements with folks that would be our competitors. But we've decided that it makes the most sense for EV drivers to get together and say, hey, let's share the map and find out, if you want to know where your chargers is. Here's our deployments here in New York City. You can go drill down into those chargers, and this is the same app that you would use right on your smartphone. It'll tell you if that charger is available. It'll tell you what the rates are for those chargers.
We'll cover up the competitor logo, but that's actually cool.
And then likewise, I can go into my home station if it was that same X5, and I could set my schedule and make sure I limit it at certain times of the day that I don't want to charge. or not. Like if I'm getting, advantages by charging in the evening versus at peak rates after school.
That's super critical. We knew it was important when we lived in Colorado. Now moving to San Diego, where the charging rates are even more expensive during the peak, we are very, very careful not to charge during those times.
Yeah, and that's just becoming more and more prevalent as folks paying attention to, what their actual energy usage rates and when they're using their energy. And so, that's a good thing for all of us to ease the strain on the grid and make sure that we're getting the best possible deals we can for our electricity.
I think he has something else to throw in here. This is great.
You already saw the ChargePoint logo on it, and that's intentional as well. You remember the early cell phone roaming days where you had to pay roaming fees to roam? And, and then you actually have that in Europe. In Europe, if you want to use from one network to the other, there's a roaming fee involved. We didn't want to do that in North America. So actually, ourselves, ChargePoint, and a few others, we have an agreement between each other to say, let's not charge roaming fees to anybody. Let's give everybody access to it. So if you're a Flo customer and then you want to access a ChargePoint, you can find it in the app, start a charging session. It's the same price that you would pay as if you were using a ChargePoint app, and vice versa. You're a ChargePoint customer, you come to Canada, you're charging, or in New York, and you're trying to do a charging session. You don't want to install the ChargePoint app, you want to use a different app, sure. And there's no roaming fees, which is great because we want to access, we don't want people to pay more.
So if there are chargers missing or networks missing, should we bug them and tell them to play nice with you guys? So that,
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, and so we want to push that. We want to roam with as many people as possible and networks as possible to make these chargers easily available. And I think that's how our mission is to drive EV adoption. And we want to do it by delivering the best EV charging experience. It's literally written in our vision and mission.
It's the whole message of EV charging done right. Right? Like we want to make sure it's reliable. We want to make sure it's accessible anywhere you go. We want to make sure it's dependable year after year. And so that you can depend on us. And that's really our promise to the world and to what we're trying to do.
That sounds good to me. That's all I want. Just that. But so we're just in the first few days of 2023. Do you want to talk about where Flo is going this year, goals for this year, or anything like that?
Well, we do have some big announcements coming up around the corner, so stay tuned. Watch for us at Distributech on February 7th. So we've got some new announcements that are going to come out and hopefully really, change the way people are doing charging, especially in the fast charging space. So look for more from us there. But yeah, we're all about trying to get more chargers in the ground, educate the marketplace, make sure that people understand what charging is, what charging isn't, and get their expectations right. But right now we're just growing so fast. We're trying to keep up with the market.
The market's growing really fast. So it's a big task, and thank you guys for showing everything that Flo is doing now. Best of luck in 2023, because if you guys are successful, that means my EV charging is better. So very much appreciate that. Very much appreciate the time from both of you today.
Thanks very much.
All right, thanks.